Good evening, good evening. Welcome to the Never Give Up Variety Show here on ACTV. My name is Jerry Mifsud, and I'm looking so forward to sharing my feelings, to sharing my involvement in Auburn. I love this town, and it's given me so much, and my family. So it's my turn to give back. I hope my mission is all about further understanding my community and getting in there and letting people express their feelings, their views, their businesses, and so we all get to know one another a little bit more and more. That's what it's all about. So let's say thank you to Paula Johnson and ACTV. I can't tell you how much I appreciate your patience, your leadership in helping me get to this point, your faith in me. You see something, and let's see if you see what ACTV sees. How do you like that? I don't expect to be too confusing, but nevertheless, I have a particular manner and a way about me that I talk a little bit long. Let's see how more pinpointed I could be, because I do have a lot of important things to say. Tonight's show will be about Mickelson Drive and the concerns of speeding on Mickelson, and what kind of safeguards, what kind of solutions can we offer, can I offer. The neighborhood has spoken through me, and so when I speak for at least 600 petitioners that signed a petition to address the concerns. I'll get into that in a bit. I also have a special guest tonight, and that will be John Downs, the man that runs around town looking like he's Hopalong Cassidy or Buffalo Bill, but no, that is really John. And after talking to him, I find out he is very much a cowboy in so many words. And boy, did he have a lot of words. You'll find this really intriguing. I also have a little news bleep to bring to light some new happenings in Barry Steiger's life. So I will say a little something in regards to that, and I look forward to that. I had Barry Steiger, by the way, is the radio disc jockey for K-High, and I recently had an interview early this morning, and this is late at night. So let's see if I don't fall asleep. Don't fall asleep. Hang with me. I guarantee you, I'll try to make it interesting. But I do thank K-High for that great opportunity this morning. I'll talk a little bit about that more. I will have my interview on K-High on my show a little bit later in one of the other segments, along with John Downs and the Mickelson issue. The name of my show is called Never Give Up. And never give up was a popular phrase coined by Jimmy Valvino, who was a basketball coach that had cancer, and he was much loved and very successful. And he was an inspiration to people on how to never give up. He coined the phrase. The phrase would be picked up, and I've seen it used in many places, but for me in my life, never give up was a phrase used by my oldest brother, who was a Catholic priest. His last mission was in San Jose, but he was an extraordinary man, and part of my programming will involve him in one of my segments as a motivational speaker. And I hope you find some solace, some inspiration. He speaks right from the heart and has reached many, many people, and I'd like to see his works continue on. One of my segments will be Father Jim Speaks, and I'll read from his books and some of his writings. I also hope to produce a TV show for Father Jim on Sundays, where you have lots of ministers and other faith-based people. So Father Jim is going to have his own TV show, and this way you can see him live, well, not live, on video. He did pass away a couple of years ago, but God, he lives on. He lives on in many, many people. Very inspirational man. So I hope to get Father Jim Speaks on the Sunday programming. That's coming up. Once I gather all of his videos, I'll be able to show you many, many different videos on different subject matters that just may touch you. I hope you just listen. You can go in the interim, you can go to YouTube and punch in the name Father James Mifsud. I don't know if did I say my name in the beginning? Hi. Did I say my name?
Think so.
I think so. Well, let's try it again. Jerry Mifsud is, of course, my brother's last name as well. And that's Mifsud. So you punch that in YouTube, and I'm sure you'll find some inspiration. I want to thank Robert Steffen. Robert Steffen interviewed me, the 23rd, the 29th, I think in January. And I was speaking on many different issues that I'm involved in. And he was just so kind and thoughtful. His words are quite inspiring. He's a very heartfelt man. He's been through a lot, yet he picks himself up, dusts himself off, and he still reaches out into the community and the community's needs. Wherever Robert goes, and he is going to move on, I hope to maybe capture him on my next show so we could send him off in a special way. He's a good man. I have a variety show. That means a variety of things, segments, different segments. Let me give you an indication of the segments. I've been a cook, and I'll talk more about my history. I got to get to these big issues tonight. So I will have a cooking segment called Pasquale and Me. Where's that sign? Hi, is it around me somewhere? Can you get that in the camera?
Oh yeah.
Do you see that? Pasquale and Me is the name of my cooking segment, because, not just because I've been a cook, but Pasquale was an employer of mine, and much more than an employer. He was like a father image to me. And I needed that. And he was right there for me. He taught me everything about Italian food, and you will see, I think I may be able to show you a little clip. We tried just a little impromptu kind of rehearsal, me making a pizza. And so when you see that, I'm sure you'll find it interesting. It's quite humorous. It was very impromptu, and I did it suddenly. I just wanted to get the feel of being what I am, a good pizza man and good Italian cook. My cooking segments will be sponsored by Rockin' Rob's Pizza and Wings here in town. I tell you, this guy has a slew of wings. 20, I think I counted 20 different flavors. You can't miss. His wings are great, his pizza is good, and he has other great items. So thank you, Rockin' Rob, for sponsoring all my cooking segments, because I'll be cooking from the kitchen. I'll be going out into other restaurants, maybe cooking, maybe eating their food. If I do this solely to eat their food, I'll be more than glad. I'm not getting paid for this, so maybe I could I'll test their prime rib and other things. Lobster, but more seriously, we'll be able to share in the food fair here in Auburn. I will have a segment about seniors. I'm very much about seniors. Keep in mind, you seniors out there, if you have any questions and needs and concerns, call up Seniors First here in town, 889-9500. They're seniors employed by, I don't know about employed. I know that there are many senior volunteers. But I'll go more into seniors first. They're a great organization. I can't forget them. I'll be having music of all sorts. My music, my parents' music, my son's music. I have no problem sharing with you the different diversity in music. And you may like some of it, you may not. You may not like rap. It's not that I don't like it. Don't get me wrong. Rap is, it's the sound of this era, just like rock and roll or blues. The many varieties of music we had when I was younger. So this is part of my son's generation. So I'm getting to understand it. If I can hear it clearly, I'm all right. It just goes so fast, and I know there's a lot of dialogue. So I'm even thinking of making my own rap song. I could almost feel it. Later. Okay, I don't want to reveal too much here. I'll scare you folks. I'm going to promote businesses. I'm going to go to many businesses. And humor, well, this town has gotten to know me with a sense of humor. I'm the kind of guy that's brought a smile, a laugh, and I can't tell a joke, but I got stories that'll make you laugh. There's no doubt. I'd like to tell one of them, but I'm not sure if we have enough time. We will do this another time. I just have to get Mickelson Drive in tonight. I'll be doing news reporting, and I look into things thoroughly, like I did in the restaurant business, and so this brings me in line to being something like investigative reporter. What do you think of that? I'm going to put on my Sherlock Holmes. What did Sherlock Holmes look through, Ike?
A magnifying glass.
A magnifying glass. I will forensically look into things and see what I see and give you my opinion. Now, I don't necessarily have to be somebody credible. Do I need a star, badge? Do I need John Ruffcorn's badge? You think John Ruffcorn wears a badge, Ike?
Sometimes, probably.
Probably, sure. I know Lieutenant Pecoraro does.
Yeah.
I've walked right into it. His lieutenant is so tall, I walked straight into his star. But anyway, he is a star. They're all stars. They're great people. Where was I, Hike? Let's see, where did I leave off? I will be addressing the different issues that I've been involved in. And here I'm at the point to talk about the biggest issue that I have going on, that I see going on now. I was on K-High this morning. I had a great interview with Barry there. I might as well mention this now. Barry is gonna move on. Barry Steiger has, I think he's been there 10 years at K-High. I got to meet the man that's going to come and replace him, a very bright young man, very loquacious, or loquacious. That means talkative, doesn't it, Hike?
I'm not sure.
You're not sure. I've got to call up the library. You know, I've called up the library so many times, Hike, you know, because being involved in all of this, council meetings and all, which I thoroughly enjoy, I've learned a lot. They go with words like, phew, 8 letters long, 9 letters long. I know 4-letter words. Peace. Is that 4 letters? P-E-A-C. Yeah, that's 4 letters. I know love. L-O-V-E. Yeah, that's 4 letters. And the library's been a tremendous help to me. So what I want to do is let's move on to Mickelson Drive. What do you think, Hank? Do you think we could swing that old camera? Did we get this camera from ACTV?
Yes, we did.
You know, these folks at ACTV, they need donations. They're a public broadcasting station. I'm not gonna say their equipment is antiquated, it's adequate, but it is older, and everything that they have is donated, and, they get, that's how they live. Nobody gets paid at ACTV. I don't. I get nothing. Zip, zero. That's all right. I'm not looking for anything. What I really want is to be effective and make a difference in my neighborhood. Everything I'm doing is, so far, has been in my neighborhood. And so we're going, let's see if I can get this around. We're gonna go to the concerns for the speeders on Mickelson Drive. I will present this today being, what's today, Hike?
Oof, it's
Well,
The
well,
13th.
well, I tell you, I got a camera. He knows a lot about cameras. I think the date is somewhere on there. Isn't the date, don't they have like the date appear in the right-hand corner?
no.
Okay, today is Wednesday,
Yes.
I think.
It's Thursday.
I've been up all day, but nevertheless, let's go to Mickelson Drive and the concerns we have on Mickelson with speeding cars. Mickelson Drive is also called Mickelson Speedway by us who live on this street. So let's see if you could see. Can we get the whole thing in the picture here, Ike?
We got it all.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
What are we fishing for today? Speeding drivers. Let's see if I can find one. The speeding driver I'm fishing for, he comes from up here. But let me explain the map. This is Mickelson Drive, which is a downhill, curvaceous road, dangerous curves coming downhill all the way that bottoms out at the 7-Eleven. It starts up here at Auburn Ravine Road. And here's Mickelson, right there. This is Auburn Ravine Road, that when you come down from Ashford Park, you come down and you stop right there. There's where the trouble starts. Now, cars, when they come to this point, they know that they have I got this right? Okay, I'm sorry. It's 3 sets of stop signs coming down Auburn Ravine. Equidistant and time-consuming to a degree. But if you look at Mickelson, this doesn't have those kinds of restrictions. And that's how this driver treats Mickelson. At this point, he says, it's too much time to go down Auburn Ravine, continue down. Why not go along Mickelson? Because Mickelson only has 2 stop signs. One here at Carla and one here at Swenson. That's like about 10% of the road. For the next 90% of this road is a freeway, a speedway, Mickelson Speedway. So what is happening at this point is, right at the top of Swenson, it comes to a hill. And from this point, it is downhill. More downhill at this point, because we swing into a curve right here, and then it takes a hard dip, and they're coming faster. They're starting to come fast, now they're coming faster, and it's a freeway all the way down. What's endangered along the way? Well, let's look at it. From this point at Swenson to these houses here, right here, there's 22 houses here. From this point of Mickelson on down, from this point of Mickelson on down, if this map falls, I'll kill somebody. This point of Mickelson on down, you have 6 apartment units. And half of them are seniors. There's 1, 2, 3 apartments. These 2 are strictly seniors. This is half seniors. This has adults. This has adults. And so the cars are coming down from 22 driveways here. There's 13 driveways here, 6 complexes. We have lots of concerns. The people here on the bottom are being affected by the speeders coming down here. There's 600 people that live in this area here of the 6 apartment complexes. 300 of them are seniors. this should be an area that could be deemed as a senior zone. And I hope we get a sign like that someday, because we have to treat our concerns like we do with children in schools. This is, we're realizing we have communities of seniors. This is a retirement community. So the seniors are walking and the back and forth here with no guards. The people are walking back and forth here. Do you imagine? There is not one crosswalk at all on Mickelson. So when I talk about people walking, they're venturing into a street where speeding cars are coming. So what are we going to do? How can we stop the speeders along Mickelson? How can we get those speeders to maybe keep going down Auburn Ravine? We can do that. We can take a neighborhood street that's been turned into a speedway, and we can move them and force them back this way. And they'll come down Auburn Ravine. How are we going to do that? With stop signs and crosswalks. That only accomplishes that. What we need, why we need them in place, if they continue on, whoever's going to come down is still going to fly down this road. We'll minimize the traffic, but we'll still have concerns like we have now. What we have to do is we have to get a hold of the 3 blind curves. There are 3 of them. This is the most critical. Almost as critical as this one. This one isn't as bad, but these are all dangerous curves. So, what we have to do, we need 3 crosswalks and stop signs. I know you're going to think, oh my God, these are not 1, 2, but 3. How can we do that? Or you're thinking, you can't put a stop sign on a street that doesn't intersect. Stop signs are only designed for intersecting streets. They're designed for intersecting streets, so they'll stop cars from colliding. But we should have them on this street here, because stop signs will stop cars from colliding with people. So if you want to stop collisions and use stop signs, why does it got to be exclusively for cars? Why not for people in cars hitting people? Now, we haven't had accidents, we haven't had any fatalities yet, but the near misses and the constant threats of the speeding cars is always there. So what we have to do is put the very first crosswalk stop sign prior to this dangerous curve. What we'll do by that is they'll come down slowly now, avoiding the children, pets, and dogs that are crossing now. It'll come down slowly now, and what that will do is we'll avoid the accidents that are taking place with the parked cars. This car is coming around, and we have insurance claims because parked cars are being hit. When cars come up the hill, to speak exclusively about this curve, when cars come up the hill, they go out of control here, and they fly into what is a guard wall right there right now, or a cement or concrete wall. It was formerly a fence belonging to 858 Mickelson, and they had to replace it with a cement wall because this car comes up out of control. So each way, they're out of control coming into this curve. So to get a hold of that curve, we put one before it and we put one after it. Now, the second one coming down has several purposes. Number one, it slows down the car coming up into this curve. If you slow down the car coming up into this curve, if you slow down the car coming into this curve, you'll finally get full control of the most dangerous curve on the road, because this sends them flying downhill. This stop sign and crosswalk here will also slow the car down coming into this curve. It will also join neighbors that have never been joined before with a crosswalk. That is essential. So now, each of these, mind you, each of these crosswalks and stop signs that I've figured out where they go, they also have PG&E light bulbs nearby to help facilitate nighttime crossing. So bringing them into the play only makes it more palatable to understand more fully how we can benefit by crossing people from one side of the street and lighting their way. So, here we come down after the second crosswalk, stop sign, we come down into another concerning area. Now, in here, we have the same kind of concerns with driveways and people wanting to visit. All these driveways are being threatened by the cars speeding down. So it's not easy backing out of anybody's driveway. We have bus stops here. People cannot cross. They need a crosswalk. That's why we need them. Bus stops, bus stops, bus stops. Now, when they're coming down, here's where it gets kind of crazy. We have here a new dental office coming in. Formerly, it's been called a credit union. We now have a dental office. Dr. Roholt, Dr. Marr, and Dr. Dietrich, 3 good doctors, I've talked to them, are going to come in here, bring their present business, and also hope to solicit, and I'll help promote Dr. Roholt, solicit and bring in customers from the many seniors and adults, children, from this neighborhood. There's 700 here, there's 600 here in this neighborhood, there is 300 in here. There's 1,000 people. That's almost, by the way, 10% of Auburn that this speeding is affecting. Auburn is 13,000, there's nearly 1,000 here. That's about 8% of Auburn is right here. I got lost a little bit because we're coming down, we're passing now the dental office with its exiting cars and all. You need some controls in here. If you don't have any control prior to the dental people, that's why you need this in here, because it'll be very congested. So we come down to the second most blind curve. This is the first, the second, and this is the third. This one here is pretty tricky because it not only comes into a blind curve, but as you start that blind curve, it takes a sudden dip. This street also here takes a sudden dip here. That sudden dip encourages speed. That person not only threatens the people exiting the 7-Eleven, but also it comes into the crosswalk and threatens the people trying to cross from one side of the street to the other. This person here, in this one of 2 crosswalks, is threatened by this car flying down the hill, coming into another blind curve. That's why we need a stop sign and crosswalk here to alleviate the pressure that speeding car is putting on driveways, residents of Brookside and Auburn Villa. We can't cross over to visit one another safely. And also the 7-Eleven. I've talked to Brian, him and Pops over there have a great business, but the driveway there, the cars coming in, they come in, they take a left, they come out, and both of those cars are threatened by the car flying down the hill. So there it is in a nutshell, what we have to do. The stop signs and crosswalks are the only thing on the table right now. We've had speed bumps. They've come and they've gone. Speed bumps will not work. They won't work at all because people will still fly over them. We have to put something to stop the car, stop the flow. If you're worried about emergency vehicles, if they'll come down this road and come to stop sign, they will treat that just the same as an emergency vehicle coming down Highway 49. I talked to Fire Chief Mark Ambrosi, excuse me, Mark, and he agrees that it's no difference between that fire truck or emergency vehicle on 49 when he comes to a stop signal as it would be when they come here. They'll do the same thing, standard procedure, proceed slowly with caution. So there is no impeding or stopping any vehicles at all, no emergency. So that doesn't come into play. There's no speed bumps, because speed bumps can ruin carriages of cars if you go over 40 miles an hour. And believe me, cars have been clocked going 44 miles an hour from the top of Mickelson. That's crazy. This is a 25-mile-an-hour speed zone. We've got to get our neighborhood back, and it can't be treated as a speedway anymore. It is that because when cars come to here and take a left, that is now called by definition a throughway, the road of preference, because it's the quickest way down the hill. When we put these restrictions in, I've said this once, when that car comes here, he's gonna say, there's too many stops on Mickelson, I'm just gonna continue down Auburn Ravine, continue down Auburn Ravine. Please, you've turned this into a speedway. We want our neighborhood back. We want to be able to cross one another, cross over to one another. We cross one another too. I'll go over there and fight with my neighbor, but at least let me get over there alive. The point is that seniors down here are threatened, children, animals, everybody has animals. They want to walk their dogs. They can't cross over safely. This is ridiculous. So we have to do something. Something is better than nothing. What can happen, maybe put crosswalks. Is this like you ask for too much and we'll give you something less? The best thing, the right thing to do is to stop the car. How else are we going to do it? You going to come up with something different than stop signs? I don't think you want to put signals out there. So I hope to, I'll be presenting this before John Ruffcorn and Bernie Schroeder, Roger Lukeman, and Mike Holmes at the March 18th meeting, Tuesday, 8:30 a.m. Anybody that would like to be there to say their sentiments, whether they're for it or not, you're open to it. I know lots of people that are going to be there. I've talked to all these people. I've done due diligence here. I don't say I have the answer. I want to put something on the table and say, think about this. I think I know exactly. You know, these two were relatively easy to find out. I knew that to find placement for. I knew to keep them away from driveways and keep them away from curbs. It may not exactly show that, but these are all on straightaways. There's no driveway and there's no curb in the way. Here is a little trickier. There aren't many spaces in here to put prior to the curb. You can't go too far down, you can't get too close to the curb. There happens to be a space. There is a space in this place, it's right here, between 888 and 878 on one side, and 949 and 939. There's 45 feet between these houses here. It's plenty of room for an 8 to 12 foot wide crosswalk. I measured them. So there's plenty of room to put it there. There's light poles right there. This gentleman here that lives in this house at 878 has no problem and feels the sentiment is the same amongst his other neighbors of putting in a crosswalk between these four houses. So they're willing. These people are in need. We want something done. So, Chairman Ruffcorn, I appreciate, we had a visit. We talked an hour. You were, of course you can't tell me how you're gonna vote. You're gonna take this to the council and let them decide. But I do appreciate the hour you gave me, and I think you found me somewhat compelling. You may have found me a little irritating. When I got to the point, this is a little funny part, because I'm near the end, I want to laugh a little. When I was talking with Chief Ruffcorn, he had his lieutenant standing right next to him, and I've engaged Vic Pecoraro in the past. He's a good guy and fully understands me. Nevertheless, he's standing next to John Ruffcorn, and I'm telling John about what's going on, and I'm getting all animated, and I'm trying to bring home my point. I'm trying to make a point, and before you know it, and trying to make a point, my finger comes to a point, and I'm like this in front of John, and I go to say something, and I poke John Ruffcorn in the chest. Chief, I apologize to you. You haven't accepted my apology formally. You've taken my call. I know that by your response, you didn't take anything to, you weren't hurt by it. I believe you were wearing a bulletproof vest. But when I did poke you in the chest, I apologized immediately. We both laughed. Vic was standing next to you. His reaction was a little different. Now, Vic is a guy that's about 7 foot tall. When I did this to his boss, he grew to 9 feet. I suddenly looked up, and it was a pillar of concern. It's all right, Vic. You're the bodyguard. John can handle himself. I thought John was a little short, bald guy. He was far from that. This guy is Arnold Schwarzenegger. Very built, healthy, a real bright guy. I really enjoyed talking to John Lovecorn. Okay, do I got a whole lot of time, Hank?
You're on like 40 minutes right
I'm
now.
on 40 minutes. Let's see where I can go, because I can go all sorts of places here. I hope you folks understand the seriousness of Nicholson Drive, and I know the broader city. When I mention this about our problems here, speeders, I hear people say, "We got them all over the place." Well, that is true. There is speeding that goes on. I don't know if you folks remember, but I was involved in the misspelled sign, please slowly drive, something like that, out at Bell's Preschool on Atwood. Lori Bell, really great lady, provided for our kids, has provided for many years. She puts out that sign on her property because the sign that probably read "slow down" wasn't affecting the speeders. So she put up that sign to catch their attention and slow them down. So this is the same thing. It's the speeders that are speeding on Auburn roads. Auburn is a sleepy town where the roads weren't designed for big cars like this, probably horse and buggy. Nevertheless, young folks, adults in a rush, they fly along these roads and fly off of them. I remember a few years back, I think it's Jeff Devine, Sean, no, it was Sean Devine. What a good boy. I only met him once, the day before he would die. It saddened me, but he went off one of the roads, one of these curvaceous roads up in Meta Vista or something, and we lost a young life. So I tell you, young people, take it easy. Even adults, it's not exclusive. I'm not picking on young people. I'm just saying these roads aren't meant for the speed that these cars, you want to push them on. So you have to go slower. I had that same experience on Edgewood Road. I was out in Edgewood and I lived in the middle of that street before it dumps out. Coming off Highway 49, I'm yelling all the time, "Slow down, slow down." So that's unfortunate that we have speeding drivers. Let's see here. So I did thank Kay. Did I mention Casey Freelove?
Oh, no, you did not.
I did not. Didn't I say that Barry was being replaced by a young, articulate? I didn't mention that? So let's try that again. Thanks a lot there, buddy. Hike, what am I going to do there? Hike now. You can't see him. I don't want you to see him. He's all mine. He is bright, articulate. He's an all-American superstar football player. And they called him Hike because he was a quarterback. Hike! So I stuck it with him. He has a name. I'm not going to tell you. I'm not going to let you see his face. He's going to be a mystery forever. And he's a great help to me. Without Hike, I don't know where I'd be. Let me give you some updates. When I was on Robert Steffen's show, I ended with bringing concerns about the cemetery, the old abandoned cemetery. And because of the work that I'd done on this vagrant encampment trail in my neighborhood, I had uncovered that. Homeless encampments. We've had to clean up the area. I got Caltrans to come out within 2 weeks. Byron Pierce of Caltrans, thanks a lot for your work. And I just made a few phone calls, and anybody could have done that. I was just there at that time. So I'm only too glad to help. But I find the abandoned cemetery. And my concerns were huge because there was a vagrant encampment right on top of 2 headstones, next to 2 headstones. And you know what that means? That means that people are spewing everything, every kind of material waste and human waste, that's sad to say. I knew that something had to be done immediately. And it took a little while for everybody to realize, meaning city, county, what to do, who had a handle on it, who was gonna respond. I talked with Ralph Gibson of the Museums Society, I think they call it, nevertheless. Ralph is a tremendous help, thanks Ralph. What I wanted Ralph to do was find out the schematic from the records of the cemetery, and let's do what I've been asking from the beginning, put a fence up out of respect for the people that did not expect to be left like this. Open range and encampments, it's terrible. All they had to do is do that. And I'm glad to report, I got a call from my supervisor in District 5, Jennifer Montgomery. I almost said Jennifer Solomon. I don't know where that name comes from. And Jennifer Montgomery assured me that the green light is on for a fence to go around and protect, with respect, those who wanted to rest in peace, not rest in... I don't want to see people go to the bathroom up there any more than you do. So I'm glad that somebody is doing something about it. I left you with a teaser last time when I was with Stefan, and that was about a potential slumlord. And I did talk to this slumlord and his management, and we've gotten to the point with Jennifer Solomon's help, because she's a code enforcer, to address the issues at hand. I really feel, though, that the same issues are in a broader complex of this unit. It's going to take the people from the complex to call up Jennifer Solomon. If you're having the same problems that I can tell you now, the person having those problems there that I mentioned on the last show with Robert was Robert, and so he couldn't quite say that. We're not going to give out the name of owners, though the owner was proactive in responding to Robert. We tried to indicate to the owner that that problem that he had, other people have in that unit. So if other people at this apartment complex on Summit Drive here in Auburn, if other people have this kind of a problem, this is not a slumlord until we realize that it is rampant with all or the majority of, or any number of concerned renters. The potential for black mold exists. It did in Robert's place. Leaky pipes from up above. Everybody on the first floor is feeling the leaky pipes. Now this is an old apartment unit. It's quite antiquated. More than likely, the pipes are old and leaking, and that gets into walls and what have you. That then brings in black mold. So we've captured at least Robert's place, and I want to look further in to see if we can't get the people there to come forward. I know they're low-income folks, they're scared, some of them are Latinos, and are just apprehensive. So I encourage you to step forward. They just don't want to be thrown out because they're complaining. I understand their apprehension, but Robert stood up, so I ask anybody over there on Summit if there's any indication that you have these things going on, be it roaches, be it black mold. Please call up Jennifer Solomon with City Code Enforcer. Well, what can I do? I can thank a few people. I could be here all night thanking people. I can't tell you how many people that have I could thank that have gotten me to this point. I'm going to keep it real simple. I'm going to thank my former wife, my parenting partner, Jenna Garrett. She lives in Reno, constantly calls me. We're closer than we were when we were married. We're the most unusual, best divorced couple. I don't like divorce. I don't like the word. We got to work around that. If you work the failings of your marriage and try to find a place to be able to respect one another. And it'll benefit, if you have kids, it'll benefit the kids. That took place with me and Jenna, where our children were not a distraction, we're an attraction at this point. How can I not thank my children? I got a gorgeous, articulate, very bright, young 30-year-old, I don't know if she wants me to say her age, she looks like she's 21, daughter Melissa Marianne. I'm very proud of her. She's making her way in the world, and she has a lot to offer. I look for amazement, with amazement in watching her grow. My son Joe, you know Joe, my boy, here in town, because he works at Mel's, and I say you know Joe because he is the kindest, smartest young man around. I can't say enough about him. And people know that. They know Joe's a good, honest, trustworthy young man. I know him a lot more than that. I know him a lot more than that. I raised Joe while my daughter was raised by her mom at the divorce. It's been me and Joe in this town for a long time. You go to Save Martin, they'll tell you stories of me and Joe coming in there when he's 7 years old. Now he's 23 or 24. But he has such a bright future and so much to offer the world. And I need
Jerry Mifsud. Jerry is a 30-year veteran of Auburn and has gotten very active in certain issues. And so I've asked Jerry to come on and talk about one of those issues. First, I'll tell you that Jerry is producing a new television show over on the ACTV channel Act 20, which is here on Wave Cable. And it's a variety type of program, but Jerry is, I'm sure, going to have some moments during that program to make the point. The program is called Never Give Up. It is called a variety show to be here on local channel 20. Jerry, welcome to K-High Radio. It's a pleasure to have you. And you do have a face for radio, and I think you'll do fine on television.
Well, I've never been told I have a face for anything. Good morning, Barry. It's so good to be with you and the people of Auburn.
Jerry, you've got an issue which you're working on right now up on Mickelson Drive, which is in the canyon. And there's an issue there that's been quite some time. So tell me what the issue is. What's the problem over there?
Well, my mission, we hope to stop with 3 stop signs and crosswalks the downhill speeding cars on Mickelson, all the while considering the 3 dangerous blind curves along the way down to the 7-Eleven here in Auburn.
Now, this is not a new issue. The issue's been around for a while, but what caused it? Mickelson is kind of out of the way to drive down through there. There is a more direct route, so what happened?
No, Mickelson is not out of the way. Mickelson is in the way. The direct route. When cars are coming from Ashford Park down Auburn Ravine Road, when they come to Mickelson, they know to take Mickelson instead of going down Auburn Ravine, continuing down. Mickelson is the fastest way down the hill.
But that's only the fastest because there's no barriers. Right?
That's true. There's two stop signs when you go on the brief part of Mickelson, 2 stop signs, and then for 80% of the next part of the road, it's all a clear freeway. But Auburn Ravine Road has 3 stop signs, and that's why people are diverting and treating Mickelson like a freeway. It is a road of preference, the quickest way. So
now, Mickelson is made up of a lot of there's apartments there, there's condos, there's senior housing, and I'm assuming there's some children and dogs, right?
Absolutely. There's on the top part of Mickelson, there's 74 homes. On the bottom part, from the middle to the bottom, are 6 apartment complexes, 3 senior, and 3 condos. 700 people, 600 people are down below, another 300 people in the homes up above. And yes, kids are more likely up on the top. There's many kids. There is no crosswalk on this street to join neighbors. That's sad.
Now, the kids have to go to school. Do they cross Mickelson? Do they have buses on there for the kids? How do they get to school?
There's buses on each side of the street, and the sad thing is there's no crosswalk for people to go from one side of the street to the other, whether it's a kid or it's a kid on a bike or whether it's a senior walking their dog. They have to cross the street, and there's no guards on Mickelson at all.
Now, crosswalks in the state of California would force drivers to stop and let people go across, but you say there's none there.
No, the problem with the crosswalks will not be enough because we have speeding cars. Cars will blow through a crosswalk easily. You have to have stop signs. And we have dangerous curves that add to the problem even more.
Have there been any accidents out there, Jerry?
Yeah, on the top dangerous curve, when you come from Swenson into the curve going downhill, the very first curve there's a cement wall there because a car has, out-of-control car, coming up Mickelson into that curve has flown into fencing that's now been replaced by a cement wall. And a car coming down Mickelson has turned over from that top curve, has turned over and over, and so is a motorcycle. And there are frequent instances of cars on this curve being sideswiped, the parked cars are being hit, insurance claims are being made. There's plenty of concern.
Not a safe, doesn't sound like a very safe situation over there.
No.
Okay, so that's the problem. You've defined it very well.
Right.
So now your mission is, and you seem to be going about this in the correct way, is you're working with the city fathers and with the various departments within the city to get some action, get something done. How you doing?
Well, I've been connected with Bernie Schroeder, who is Public Works city and has for the city, and I've talked closely with her to prepare me, formally prepare me to approach John Ruffborn and his committee, the traffic committee, on March 18th. On this day, I will present 500 signatures. I'll present the problem and solutionary, workable solutions here. In other words, I know exactly where the 3 crosswalks with stop signs need to be put on Mickelson to get a hold of the drivers, speeding drivers, and the curbs. They both play a role in it.
Now, Jerry, and we're going to break here for just a second, but we'll be right back with you, so don't let anybody leave us. We're going to talk some more about this.
I'm not going
But how about where these places are supposed to go and the stop sign is supposed to go? Did you get any help from anybody on how that should be? I mean, you're not a traffic engineer, so how did you make the decision on this?
Well, I don't know about being a traffic engineer. All you have to do is go up there and see where I know how wide the crosswalks are. I know crosswalks and stop signs need to be put away from curves and away from driveways. You can go up there and survey it and see that there's only a few positions that these items, crosswalks and stop signs,
Jerry,
can be
I'm going to
positioned.
interrupt you.
Savage Nation is a defender of borders, language, and culture. You can hear the Savage Nation Monday through Friday from 1 to 4 p.m. right here on the Voice of the Foothills, KAHI, Auburn.
Good morning, everybody. It's 8 o'clock now. Our temperature is 54 degrees, and we're looking at 71 today, 72 tomorrow. 71 today, 79 degrees. It's like summer has come back to the beautiful foothills of California. I have a guest this morning here on KHI Radio, Jerry Mifsud. Jerry is a producer of a new program called Never Give Up over on our Wave Cable ACTV 20 here in town and in the area. Jerry's been around this town some 30 years, not new to being some burr under the saddle, I think would be a fair way to put it. You get on cases and you go for it and you work hard at it and you try to get some results. And you're working on one of those right now, which is a traffic problem out at Mickelson Drive. And Mickelson Drive, which has got kids and dogs and seniors and a good variety of, there's no stores there, I assume. There is a 7-Eleven, I think, down on the corner, right?
But then where there's a credit union that is closed down, and now a new dental clinic is coming in the fall that will Dr. Roholt, Mars, and Dietrich, 3 good doctors, are going to bring several thousand of their customers will here. Also, there'll be 700 people that live right there buy the new dental clinic, and half of them are seniors. This is going to bring in more business for them
Sure.
and more congestion. That's why the safeguards need to be put up.
Good. Well, and if you just joined us, folks, at 8 o'clock, Jerry is working on a situation over there, which is a traffic situation. There's speeders, which includes motorcycles and vehicles, and there's been several accidents over there due to the speed. And so Jerry has been working on a program going through the proper channels of the city and the police department in attempting to bring some process to that area, which will slow this traffic down in a natural order. So Jerry, how you doing? You feel the city's behind you?
Well, yes. Well, I appeared on the 24th before the city council, and to present what I'm going to do as they will pass this on to the traffic committee. And after the city council meeting, Chief Ruffcorn talked to me. Bill Kirby, by the way, Bill Kirby and I are going to get together today at 1 o'clock, and we're going to I'm going to go over what I presented before him in more detail, and we're going to take a ride on Mickelson and survey the situation. So I know that I've caught the attention of Paul Ogden, who was the former city manager, and also Kathy Sands, and as well, Kathy Sands was councilwoman and mayor, and as well former mayor George Beelan. So I'm gaining support. I'm talking to the right entities. Many people along Mickelson, I've gotten over 500 signatures, are very concerned. These are the right people on Mickelson that want safeguards. These were the same people 12 years ago that wanted to keep speed bumps, but they were removed because of efforts by Frank Ford, who was adamant about what he wanted. He wanted speed bumps removed. He got them removed. But he didn't get them removed with the support of people that live on Mickelson. He got that support from Save Mart petitioning, Bel Air petitioning. He got support from the broader city. But Mickelson says, we want safeguards on that street. We want our neighborhood back.
Good, Jerry, and I wish you luck. This is the way you go about this stuff. You know, you can yell and scream and make a lot of noise, get on radio and in the newspapers, but it really does take working the process. It appears as though you're doing that, so I wish you well on that.
Oh, thanks, Barry.
Now, let's talk a little bit about your variety show, which you're coming up premiering this weekend. What time, do you know?
We're not sure yet. We're going to squeeze it as soon as I can get it in the can. It's a variety show, so that means that I'm pulling in several different kinds of segments. I want to mix this up for people's enjoyment. They could watch, I'll have an hour show, they could watch 10 minutes of a segment or 12 minutes and then move on to something different. And the show, being that I've been a former cook, I will make that one of the segments where I'll be doing cooking. I'll be going out in the street promoting restaurants, and I'll even bring in some of the city council members or some of the city government or power brokers in town, bring them into my kitchen, and now we'll be on an even keel, so to speak, at least in my area, and we'll cook together. I'm going to throw an apron on a few of these kind gentlemen and ladies here in town, and that'll be an aspect. I'll be talking about senior issues. I'll be bringing on music, old music, now music. I'll be promoting businesses. I have a motivational speaker that I'm going to throw in there, Father Jim. I'll tell more about that. I'm going to put in humor. People know me, Barry, you know, with being lighthearted. I mix that in with business, and it's quite palatable. It's different, and I like that. I like that about myself, and I like the reaction. It lightens up between a lot of important business. So humor will be in there. And ultimately, one important aspect I found that I'm doing good is looking into things. You could say investigative reporter. I don't want to be that, but I am doing that because I did that in the restaurant business for many years, 50 years. I saw problems, and I made solutions. I'm not about talking about problems. I'm not here to whine. I got some viable solutions, and I hope to show that in a pattern on my new show.
Jerry Mifsud, folks. He's a local guy. You're going to get to know more about him. He's on the right track. He's doing the right things. And I think, Jerry, you bring a breath of fresh air in. I appreciate that. And thanks for sharing your time with us and sharing the problem, because that's why we're here, and these things need air. So
Right.
you're doing the right things, and I commend Bill Kirby, who I like. Bill's a great guy. And if he's going to go over and take a look at the problem, you've got the right people working on the problem. So
Right.
Congratulations on that.
The fresh air happens to be, I put a whole bunch of Old Spice on, Barry, and I hope I didn't kill it. I knew I was going to be in close proximity, but anyway, it is, I feel that. I've got new legs in the life.
Good. Jerry, thanks for joining us here on KI Radio.
There'll never be an emergency ever again.
We're rolling.
But just in case.
Are we rolling?
We're on.
Fantastic. I feel terrible here. I brought up, you kick a dog, and I realized that it was John's dog has passed away recently, 14 years ago. Is that long?
That's about right, yeah, 14 years
That's
ago.
pretty recent.
I'm over it now.
And I didn't want to offend, what was the dog's name?
Dog,
No, the dog.
yeah, dog.
Right. Well, what name does it say around his collar? Did he have a
Dog.
collar?
Dog.
No, I know it's a dog. Did he have a name around his collar?
Yeah, it was dog.
Okay, you're making me yell. Am I coming off too loud? Am I sounding aggressive towards John? Okay, I believe he's repeating himself. Didn't you tell me that he had it all together before we were going to sit down? Oh, you're actually saying your dog's name is Dog?
Dog,
Well,
yes.
why did you say that?
I did. Pay attention.
Okay, I'm going to straighten up here. I knew you were going to do this to me. You're going to wrangle the show away from me. Lasso me. Lasso or lasso?
Yeah, any way you want, because it has something to do with the rope, and they make me nervous.
Well, you told me you're a cowboy, right?
Yeah. No, I didn't say that. I have never said I was a cowboy.
Look, I watched Time Travel. I believe you weren't walking through downtown Auburn. You found the oldest buildings that you were walking around, right?
I had a wagon and a driver.
A wagon and a driver.
Hell no, I was going to get on a horse.
Okay. Well, people perceive you to be this. So are they asking you, let's go in another direction. You've talked to a lot of people on the streets. So people must come up to you, right?
They do.
People are drawn to you,
They are.
for obvious reasons.
Yes.
So do they say stuff like, "Psst, can I take a picture with you?"
Yes.
Do they come off a bus? Are they like foreign people, that kind of little people?
I have a fan club in Germany.
Is that right?
Yes.
Wow, excuse me.
Well, that's all right. You wouldn't have any way of knowing had I not told you.
No, I go to Germany quite frequently. And somebody came here, they liked you, they went back there to the other side of the world and said, let's generate some love for this guy. Let's make a fan club.
Yeah, I have that short story that's on the wall at Idlewice, and they took it with them when they started a fan club.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah, I haven't written to them, though. I should, shouldn't I?
Well, John, well, maybe you have fans all
I
over
don't
the
like
world.
Germans particularly.
Well, dogs, women,
Germans,
We'll leave these people alone.
Finns,
I'm over the war,
French,
Oh, don't get me with the French.
Europeans in general.
Oh, the French, you said the wrong word. The French chefs that I had to work with, John. I'm an average cook. Every once in a while I'd get a chef, Pierre Lafitte, telling me to make this sauce this way and make it that way. You know how irritating that is, John? You're irritated by the...
I am irritated by you right now, so I'm easily irritated.
Well, the show's going south here, south of the border. This cowboy is almost ready to sign off. Oh God! You know what? I need a refreshment. You got anything? My son. I'm going to bring my son into this picture. He said that he would come on camera. Can I get something from him?
One moment.
You may like this. Keep your mind open, okay, cowboy?
All
I'm
right.
going to try to make amends.
Well, you don't have any amends to make.
I don't?
No.
I thought you weren't liking me there.
No, I like you fine. Hell, I like anybody.
Is that right?
I have no particular.
I heard.
Oh, there's those old Coca-Colas I was talking about, where better served in ounces than gallons.
That's
That's exactly the size. You
can say it.
You're, what do you call that when you're, whatever.
That's great. That's great.
Yeah, that word is good. Yeah, whatever.
Yeah, it is. I'm whatever.
Oh, Well, never mind. Never mind. I got it. I lost it. Yeah, my dad, you know, I used to sit and share a Coke just exactly that size, and we'd sit under that fig tree until one by one, under the little Dixie
There you
cups,
go.
it was all
Thanks,
gone.
John.
Thank you so much.
There you are.
And I appreciated every one of those Cokes the old man and I shared under that fig tree in the summer.
Did you come from a big family?
No, just me.
You and Pop?
Yeah, and sometimes Mom.
Uh-huh, uh-huh. And, under the fig tree, you go fishing, that kind of stuff, was like, you were little Opie, and he was Andy Griffith.
No, not at all.
Did he take you out with a gun and show you how to hunt, that
He
kind
didn't
of
give me a
thing?
gun, he didn't show me how to shoot anything, he didn't want me shooting anything.
But he gave you a gun?
Oh yeah, when I was 6 or 7.
Uh-huh.
But, no, he figured I had enough common sense. He gave me enough common sense not to kill anybody with it, or myself. But there were no neighbors around, so there was nobody I could have shot if I'd have wanted to.
So this is in El Dorado County here?
El Dorado County.
So how far is El Dorado County? I should know. It's the county next door, isn't it?
Yes, it is. Right on the other side of Folsom Lake. Which I consider Folsom Lake to be nothing but a collection basin for muddy snow water with the possibilities of fish. It is an offensive lake to me. I don't like it, didn't like it when I was 5.
It's mud now.
There's mud. Then there are 25 ghost towns under Folsom Lake, and I used to know where all of them were.
Is that right?
Yes.
So at one time, there was towns there. and
All
that-
over the place, yeah,
Uh-huh.
up and down the river. I lived in a town that would have been called Cooper's Ravine in 1865.
Uh-huh,
The house was built the same time, about 1865.
uh-huh. That's interesting.
Yeah, well, maybe, I don't know, is it interesting?
Well, it is, you know, this is ancient history. Well, we're the same age. I mean, that you're born in the 40s. That is, how old was, what year was your pop born in?
1913.
So were my parents. My mother was born in 1913, right? Was your folks right from El Dorado as well?
No, my dad left Missouri suddenly. He broke jail, actually he left Texarkana, Texas. He broke jail in Texarkana, Texas in 1936.
Mhm.
And the rest of my family came out on the lam too from Missouri. Or from Texas. That's why my name doesn't match anybody else's name in Missouri that I'm related to.
Because
Because he changed his
he
name.
changed his name.
Yeah.
You want to say what it was?
It was Bounds, B-O-U-N-D-S. He switched his first 2 names and changed his last name to Bounds.
Oh, I see.
I could never figure out how come Uncle Glenn's name was different than my dad's because I knew they were brothers. Now I know.
And so he came out here eluding difficulties.
So
back-
did 2 others, uncles.
I see.
Yeah.
This wasn't like the Barrow Gang or
No, but they weren't, royalty either.
royalty. Okay, this is interesting. So you have no siblings.
No.
You ever been married?
Yes.
How'd that work out, John?
4 kids.
I didn't know this.
Yeah.
This is good.
She stayed around long enough to conceive them.
Uh-huh.
Didn't stay around long after that.
No, well, with your opinion about women, I could just imagine, you were lucky to have kids with
It
this.
depends on which way I got the opinion. Did I get it before or after?
So, does this make you a grandpa?
I wish it did, but yeah, I've been isolated from that too. My other stuff I don't want to get into.
We'll leave that.
Yeah. But at any rate, since I decided I had one of the 4 kids with no wife, and I realized I was going to be a lousy parent, I opted instead to be head kid and see if I couldn't keep us out of jail.
Uh-huh,
To which end I was more or less successful most of the time.
uh-huh, most of the time.
Most of the time.
So, where have your travels taken you? Have you seen much of the world?
I saw Bakersfield once.
Oh, that's on the other side of,
Yeah, I was frightened.
you're frightened of
Yes,
Bakersfield.
well, yeah, so far away.
This
No,
is-
actually, I sold vacuum cleaners door to door for 13 years.
Oh, Hoover?
No, my God, what is wrong with you? What is wrong with you?
Okay, who was the big, I'm trying to think, vacuum cleaners.
Well, I worked all through Canada, through the Northwest, through this area. Let me see, how did it go? I'd knock on the door and say, the woman would answer. In those days, it was think about how impossible this is. You're knocking on the door at 9 o'clock in the morning, and in those days, women didn't work outside of the home yet.
Okay.
You're knocking on the door, you're talking to some woman who's on her second cigarette and her third cup of coffee, wearing her little bunny slippers, and you're gonna tell her to buying the equivalent of an $1,800 vacuum cleaner while her husband is not at home. That would be impossible, wouldn't it? But we did it. I can remember the door pitch. Hi, I'm John with the Kirby Company. Now you know. The Kirby Company, I'm out offering absolutely free today a Dr. Eli Parsons' famous Miracle Oil lamp. It doesn't cure anything. It doesn't cure sadness, darkness, eye strain, backache. It doesn't cure any of those things, but it is yours absolutely free today for only 20 minutes of your time to take a look at the new Kirby Classic 3.
This is, everything you just said revolves around a vacuum cleaner, right?
Yes.
It sounded like there was some kind of magic oil, some kind of...
No, we were giving away the coal oil lamp as a means to get in the door.
Oh, I see. Oh, okay, there you go. And you're carrying a vacuum cleaner along with you?
We had them, yeah.
You had to show it.
Well, of course you did.
You're the guy that goes in the house, if they let you in, and you vacuum something.
And you sell them in today's market, in today's increase of dollars, probably a $1,500 vacuum cleaner.
Is that right? How long ago was this?
Oh, well, in those days it sell for $400 or $500,
Okay.
but what I'm saying is,
Okay,
if you look at the cost of living.
Okay. They were that good? And
They weren't that good. See, the difference between a vacuum cleaner is, any salesman, the difference between a salesman and a con artist, there's two differences. The con artist loves to scam people, and he likes for them to find out they've been scammed after he left. Now, a peddler, a door-to-door peddler, actually buys his own bullshit. He really thinks he's delivering goods and services at a fair market value. But other than that, the technique between the con artist and the salesman, there is no difference. It's the same technique, exactly.
I see.
Yeah, just so you'll know.
Okay.
You never sold vacuum cleaners door to door?
I've sold lots of, I used to sell shoes.
Door to door?
Let's see, well, I've been petitioning door to door with this business here. I've gone door to door, knocking on doors, asking for signatures.
And do you get them?
Oh, absolutely.
Good.
I know, as you probably know, that first line is the most critical line. They've opened up their door, maybe they don't want to.
What is your first line?
Would you like to sign a petition?
No!
Well, there we go. Well, thank you, sir. It was really nice to talk to you. I'll go somewhere else.
Can I make a suggestion?
Yeah.
Of course, you've already got your petitions. You don't
Yeah.
need my suggestion anymore.
Right, no, I don't want it either.
Well, my suggestion, you're going to get my suggestion anyway.
Okay.
My suggestion would have been, had you used it earlier, I would have said, hi, I'm John, I'm your neighbor. And it doesn't matter if the neighbor is 15 miles away. I'm your neighbor. You got common ground. You got to get common ground right away.
Right.
But it's too late. You've already got your petition.
Well, I do include that, when I talk about this, because I do say, I'm in your neighborhood, and this is senior concerns, because that's what it is all about. All the traffic and the problem is coming upon seniors. So I let them know that, and they can obviously see that.
Right.
I look like a senior. Well, not as much as you do, but, well, I mean, we both look like seniors. Don't take that the wrong way.
It's too late. I
Is
already
he
have
going
it.
for his gun? God help me. Well, Clint, we're getting to that time of day where gee, I've enjoyed talking with you.
Are we through talking now?
Yeah,
Thank God we got that over with.
well, I'm
Jeez.
trying to get us to that point because
Yeah, we need to get there. Quick.
well, that's okay too. I ever since I cut your hair, then I see you around town. I say, there's a guy. He's suiting up. He's showing up. He's walking up. Tell me, don't you do some kind of? Aren't you a handyman too?
Yes, I've been for years.
I mean, like a real handyman.
Yes, a real handyman. Like I can fix roofs and lay vinyl and install hot water heaters and scope out electrical mysteries and build decks and whatever else. If it's attached to a house, that's all I need.
Oh, is that right? Okay,
Yeah.
I didn't know you did all that.
No, it's true.
You have tools, that kind of stuff, I imagine. Okay, I'm sorry. You just don't look like you got any tools on you, except a gun. Well, we're breathing in and out, folks, so I think that calls for a commercial, but not really. Look at John, I really enjoyed talking to you. I've seen you enough on the streets, I figured, what the heck, let's see what this guy's all about. You're quite interesting. I want to give you you got a name for your handyman organization? Is it called,
The home repairman.
oh, that's a great catchy name.
Oh, yeah, it catches on real quick.
I'm gonna show this at the end of the show, but for you folks that got a pencil and paper, do you got a pencil and paper out there? They probably got something digital. They probably got one of those things in their hand, and they're gonna do this probably.
More than likely, because we're living in a world now that, I tell you, that stuff was all the work of the devil.
Well, it could be.
It is.
It could be.
I've been saying this for years.
Do you have a phone at home?
Yeah, I do.
Yes.
Actually, it's a cell phone. I canceled my other landline. I don't need a landline. I have a cell phone it is with me, literally 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Don't you hate the word literal? So many people misuse it. But yes, I have one.
But so you're willing to like that part of the digital world?
Oh, well, yeah. I mean, I got to make some accommodations to the 21st century.
Did you ever have a rotary phone? Rotary phone?
Yeah, it's easier for you to say. Yes, I had a rotary phone.
Okay.
Yeah.
That,
We used to have landlines, you know, they had 6 people, 6 people on a party line.
right.
Yeah, that's how come we know when Mrs. McGillicuddy's daughter got pregnant, it really wasn't hers, it was her mother's, or vice versa, you know, we always knew what was going on in town.
I never shared a line. You mean when you pick up your phone, other people share the same phone?
Oh, yeah, you'd have 6 people on it.
From living somewhere else.
It was a 6-party line, yeah.
That's the door, Dad.
Well, let's see, who can be here? Handle that at the door, Joe.
Oh, is it a mystery guest?
Well, I don't know. Okay, let's see, is it John Macy? Did John Macy show up?
Hey.
No, it isn't. I got another cameraman. Why don't you stand over there, unless you want to walk right in. We're filming a show right now. That's very, very nice. Well, let's see. I tell you, I got more help. John, I brought in help because I knew that you were going to be a handful. Did I give out the phone number, by the way?
I don't know, did he?
Yeah, no, I did.
No, he didn't. I really don't care whether you do or you don't.
No,
I don't like people calling me, bothering me, and wanting things fixed.
Well, look, if you don't want to bother anybody, call this number, area code 530-320, oh, you're not writing fast enough? Okay, 320-6, are those 4s, John, or 9?
Yes, they are, 6441.
Did you go to like, school?
Yes, I went to school, yes. And you just don't like my 4s, or what is your problem here?
I better leave it really quick because I should not criticize the man's dog, his cat, or his 4s.
No, no, not always a good thing because I'm very old and cranky.
Well, I wouldn't know that at all. John, thanks a lot for coming on my show.
Yeah, it's been special, yeah.
This is
what
my
we're supposed to
premiere
do,
show.
shake hand? Yeah, don't you do in the movies?
That's
Yeah.
what we do. Do you do a high five?
Are you kidding me?
Folks, I'm going to leave you now. Let me send off here. Thank you so much. It was a great pleasure to talk to this man here. And I hope you got something out of it because I got nothing. I got completely nothing out of it. This is just a cowboy, and God knows he'll come over your house and fix your plumbing and what have you. So thank you so much for being with me tonight, and I look forward to being with you again with another guest. So this is Jerry Mifsud.
I'm being replaced?
From where? From Jerry Mifsud here, not John Downs. Thanking you so much, and good night, folks.
Okay.
Wave goodbye, John. This is it.
Good night, Mrs. Calabash, wherever you are.
So, Hike, I think we're winding down. I think I got it all covered, and so all as I could say is this is the soft opening of my Never Give Up show. You will see John Downs. Is that his name again? I'm so tired. John Downs. What a character. I have to say, though, in the very end, the opinions of my guests do not reflect on me are not reflections on me. I don't feel the same way of the opinions of my guests, or neither does ACTV. Whoever they are independent of us. We don't subscribe to anything our guests want to profess in their feelings. And so I will end with this. Thank you so much for letting me come into your hearts, let me come into your minds. I'm looking forward to, as long as you, if you find some interest in this, I tell you, write to ACTV. You could call me at 889-0995, area code 530. You can email me at Gerald Paul Mifsud at gmail.com. So let me look at you for a while. You've looked at me, for how long have I been here?
An hour almost.
Thank you so much for letting me into your hearts and your homes. God bless you all. We're going to meet again. Sing it, Roy. I can hear Dale back there. Is that bullet barking? Is that bullet barking? Is that bullet barking?
Yep.
Oh, do I have sound effects? Thank you so much. Look forward to seeing you. I hope to do this every week. Good night now. Happy trails. So, Hike, I think we're winding down. I think I got it all covered, and so all as I could say is this is the soft opening of my Never Give Up show. You will see John Downs. Is that his name again? I'm so tired. John Downs. What a character. I have to say, though, in the very end, the opinions of my guests do not reflect on me, are not reflections on me. I don't feel the same way of the opinions of my guests, or neither does ACTV. Whoever they are independent of us. We don't subscribe to anything our guests want to profess in their feelings. And so I will end with this. Thank you so much for letting me come into your hearts, let me come into your minds. I'm looking forward to, as long as you, if you find some interest in this, I tell you, write to ACTV. You could call me at 889-0995, area code 530. You can email me at Gerald Paul Mifsud at gmail.com. So let me look at you for a while. You've looked at me, for how long have I been here?
An hour almost.
Thank you so much for letting me into your hearts and your homes. God bless you all. We're going to meet again. Sing it, Roy. I can hear Dale back there. Is that bullet barking? Is that bullet barking? Is that bullet barking?
Yep.
Oh, do I have sound effects? Thank you so much. Look forward to seeing you. I hope to do this every week. Good night now. Happy trails.